Alright, I'm going to teach you all how to draw Spongebob Squarepants from Nickelodeon. I chose to teach you this because I enjoy drawing and Spongebob is pretty simple and easy to draw. Here's my audience. Okay. Supplies needed for this would be a pen or a pencil and a couple pieces of paper in case you guys mess up. And if you guys wanted to color it in the end, you would have to grab a few markers. Okay, the first thing to do when drawing SpongeBob is draw 2 quarter-size circles right next to each other on the page in the middle, just like this. The next step would be to draw 2 smaller circles inside of the quarter-size circles, like this. The third step would be to draw the pupils inside of the smaller circles, just like this. Okay, now that we have the eyes drawn, we do his nose. His nose is just a half circle right underneath his eyes, just like this. You can draw his nose different ways, but this is the easiest and simplest way to do it. Next is his smile. In drawing SpongeBob's smile, it's just you start at one side of his eye in the corner and draw a half circle underneath to the other eye, just like this. To finish his face, you add 2 squares on the bottom of the smile for his teeth. And that was like the last step shown. And that's his face. Now that his face is done, we can go on to his body, which is pretty simple. What you want to do is draw a big rectangle underneath his mouth, like this one. By drawing this, it'll help you form his head. To start his head, you would start at the bottom of either side of the rectangle and do a squiggly line all the way up and around his eyes and around his face to the other side of the rectangle. After you complete that step, you would move on to the circles on the sponge to make him look like a sponge. And those can be placed anywhere throughout. Any size, they don't have to be in any order. Next, we are going to draw his tie. For his tie, all you would do is just draw a half circle right in the middle of his pants, like underneath his teeth. And then underneath your half circle, you would draw a diamond. After the tie is finished, you can draw 2 triangle shapes next to his tie for his collar, like in this picture. After that, we will do his belt. And for his belt, I just start halfway through the rectangle and you draw a line all the way across. Underneath the line, you'll do dotted lines to make it look like a belt loop. The last steps would be his arms and legs. For this, start about halfway up and draw 2 sideways triangles down to his pants. And it'll look like his arms are going behind his body. And you do that on both sides. After you draw his arms, you will go down to his legs underneath the rectangle, and you'll draw 2 lines on one side of his body and 2 lines on the other side of his body. For his shoes, you would draw two half circles on the bottoms of your lines that form his legs, and then connect them on the bottom. And they'll look like this. For a few extras you could do when drawing SpongeBob are shoelaces, which would just be a tiny bow on top of his shoes that you just drawn. And I did it on this picture. Another thing you could draw on there are freckles. And the freckles are just 3 dots on top of his smile right underneath his cheeks. And the last thing you could do is draw 3 lines on top of his eyes for eyelashes. And that is how you draw SpongeBob.